business leaders bend the ear of the mayor, what they're looking for ahead of budget deliberations. Police officers wanted, why Saskatoon isn't alone in its search for new recruits. And suspended without warning, why a Saskatoon content creator is frustrated with Facebook.
This is CTV News with Chantel Saunders.
Good evening. The Saskatoon Police Service is looking for officers. The city's top cop says the force is seeing fewer people applying for the job compared to previous years. As Hallie Madrick reports, the challenge in recruiting isn't just an issue being seen here in Saskatoon.
Officers wanted. That's the message Chief Cam McBride is sending as his service is seeing fewer people apply for what was once a sought-after position.
We used to get literally hundreds and hundreds of applicants every year, and that number has dwindled down.
It's an issue that's not exclusive to Saskatchewan. Police services across the country are struggling to find recruits.
Police recruitment right across Canada has become challenging. In many cases, they're recycling the same applicants over and over again, hoping to get some new ones, and they do, and they still hire wonderful people, but it's become a huge challenge.
Lewis says a number of factors contribute to this declining interest in the profession, including more appealing jobs elsewhere and growing criticism of police on social media. This also comes at a time when a significant number of positions need to be filled.
There's a couple of issues right now, and one is many police departments hired a lot of people in certain decades that have resulted in a lot of people being eligible for retirement now. So the demand may be greater, and then there's less applicants.
McBride says that issue is certainly felt by SPS, adding that the service is hopeful to be able to send some new recruits to police college in the new year.
We're hoping to get 17 positions in that class, and so there's never been a better time to get into policing. There are lots of retirements currently within Saskatoon, and the provincial demand for policing is significant.
The Saskatchewan Police College operates out of the University of Regina with 48 seats available in its upcoming January class, which will be divided up between jurisdictions. Hallie Madrick, CTV News, Saskatoon.
Saskatoon Mayor Cynthia Block was on the hot seat speaking to business leaders this afternoon. It comes a week before contentious budget talks begin at City Hall. Kina Sorokon reports.
From city spending to policing and homelessness, Mayor Cynthia Block answered questions from NSBA members as she sharpens her pencil to look for additional savings alongside the rest of council to avoid an 8.2% property tax hike next year. And as much as she wants to save money, she doesn't want to put more on the books next year and beyond.
I think it's wise that we take that long view and make the tough decisions now rather than paying more money later, just to have a reprieve from property tax right now.
There's no shortage of tough decisions as business leaders ask the city to stay in its lane and focus on core services. The police budget alone will raise property taxes by roughly 3.7% next year if approved.
We are facing a bit of an anomaly based on that police budget. And also a reminder that, 8.23 is the beginning, not the end of the budget discussion.
Keith Moen doesn't want council to get lost in the 2026 budget, as council will also mull a 5.9% hike in 2027.
I think the budget needs to be considerate of that because the second year will be as important as this first year.
Moen says businesses are hoping council can keep the increases minimal, with taxes going up 11% the last 2 years combined.
We use the pebble in a knapsack analogy, right? Because it's just another thing that's a cost increase that's going to cause businesses more challenging times ahead of them.
8.2% would be the largest property tax increase in the city's history if approved. The previous high was 7.4% in 2014. Keenan Sorokon, CTV News, Saskatoon.
A total of 5 people have been charged in connection with a homicide last year. On December 18th of 2024, Saskatoon police were executing a search warrant at a house in the 1700 block of 22nd Street West. They arrived to find a person dead. His identity was not made public. On November 14th and 17th, Saskatoon police charged 22-year-old Emery Aubuchon and 45-year-old Vernon Pequaquat. They were both arrested in Saskatoon and charged with first-degree murder, offering an indignity to human remains, and unlawful confinement. 41-year-old Donovan Lemstra was arrested in Calgary earlier this month and brought back to Saskatoon. 40-year-old Michael Landry and 27-year-old Michael McCallum were also arrested in Saskatoon. All 5 accused are facing the same charges. RCMP have seized a replica submachine gun, among other things, following a search warrant at a home in Nipawin. The fake gun, along with a carbon rifle, a loaded pistol, a taser, as well as drug trafficking equipment and 300 grams of an unknown white powder were taken as evidence on November 10th during the search. A 44-year-old man from Nipawin is facing a string of weapons charges. RCMP say their investigation revealed drugs were being trafficked in the Nipawin, Tisdale, Melfort, and Carrot River areas. Crime and police visibility was discussed at Prince Albert's City Hall today. During the Board of Police Commissioners meeting, members discussed crime in the city and ways to increase public visibility so the public is more aware of police service operations. Chief Patrick Noget also talked about the service needing to examine and revamp its policies. The board will meet again next month. Jeff, it's hard to believe that December is almost here and we have very, very mild weather.
We have very, very mild weather for late November by late November standards. And yes, certainly as we head towards November, or the beginning of December, things are going to get colder. But until then, let's hold on to these above seasonal temperatures, and that's what's going to be happening. We do have the possibility of some flurry activity. This system over here trekking through Saskatchewan tonight. We're expecting mostly they could start off as some showers, but ultimately it's going to be mostly a flurry situation that will dissipate by tomorrow, or at least wrap up in our area by tomorrow. But we'll talk about that and the continuing warm temperatures later on.
A Saskatoon content creator says years of work disappeared in an instant after Facebook shut down her page with 22,000 followers. As Stacey Hine reports, it's coming during her busiest season and is already taking a toll on her business.
This might just be one of the best camping spots in Saskatchewan.
Travel and adventure have become a full-time job for Ashlyn George. She spent more than a decade growing her online brand, The Lost Girl's Guide to Finding the World. But she says her Facebook page with 22,000 followers was recently shut down.
It's really stressful. I don't know what's going to happen.
Meta flagged her account for impersonation, but George says she wasn't impersonating anyone and wasn't given a chance to properly appeal. And until she paid for verification, she could only interact with AI support bots. Her account is now on hold until December 4th.
So this is affecting 3 different revenue streams where I do earn money. And to have it down for a month, especially in Q4, this is the busiest time of year, it's going to be a major impact on my business.
George is not alone. A petition called Meta Wrongfully Disabling Accounts with No Human Customer Support has nearly 50,000 signatures. It was started by an organization called People Over Platforms.
They wanted our lives on these digital platforms, and now that's what we have. They shouldn't have the right to immediately strip it away like how they have been, with not even proper support or proper appeal systems.
CTV News reached out to Meta for comment, but did not hear back by deadline. In the meantime, George is relying on her blog, email list, and Instagram, but says she's constantly on edge.
And while I can and will rebuild, there's a lack of confidence there. What if my next account is taken down?
She encourages others to back up their photos and videos, saying a suspension like this can make years of work disappear in seconds. Stacey Hine, CTV News, Saskatoon.
The Saskatoon YMCA is preparing for major changes with a transition out of its current building. Today, the local team welcomed the national head of the YMCA. And as Carla Shinkrick tells us, discussions in Saskatoon and Regina are centered around how the Y can meet the evolving needs of our communities.
The YMCA of Saskatoon is really at a transformational moment.
With communities across the country currently facing changing socioeconomic challenges, the YMCA is hoping to help address some of those in the work they do.
It's at a crossroads to decide what its future is going to be.
That future includes moving from its longtime location downtown with an aging building being a factor, as well as adhering to the city plans to reconfigure the downtown to make way for the new entertainment district. The YMCA national CEO was in Saskatoon Saskatoon Tuesday to discuss how the Y fits into communities today.
We do our work the best. We're a center of community. So it depends what the community needs. It could be housing and homelessness services. Each community is a little bit different. So that's why a meeting like this, an opportunity like this is so important.
Those organizations involved include municipal government leaders and groups like the United Way.
Mental health, isolation kind of challenges in this community and all communities are too great for any one organization to own it.
The YMCA is currently looking at taking over services of the Harry Bailey building as early as September 2026. And while it's an aquatic fitness and leisure center, other services will be essential, which is part of the topics.
We do so much more than that. And where are we going to do that? Who are we going to do that with? Who are our partners for that sort of future work?
So one of the projects the Y is eyeing up down the road is running the City Leisure Center, which will be here east of Brighton in what will be the Homewood neighborhood. That's expected around 2028.
We want a healthy community and having that partnership, it helps alleviate the burden, even on the healthcare system.
It's really a call to action, I would say, to see how we can work with other organizations, other levels of government.
The national CEO is also meeting in Regina this week. Carla Shinkaruk, CTV News, Saskatoon.
Members of the Ukrainian community gathered at the Legislative Building for a service to commemorate Holodomor. A moment of silence was held to recognize the millions who died during the 1932-33 famine in Ukraine. Following the service, wreaths were laid at the Bitter Memories of Childhood Monument in Wascana Park in Regina. International Holodomor Day is recognized on the 4th Saturday of November. The word Holodomor means extermination by hunger in Ukrainian. A sea of green filled the streets of Regina today as the Grey Cup parade traveled down the Green Mile to the Saskatchewan Legislature. Jacob Carr on how fans were swept up in the celebrations today.
Thank you very much.
It was tarps optional for AJ Ouellette and the Riders as they celebrated their Grey Cup championship. Fans came out in droves to show their support, including an Ouellette lookalike.
Yeah, I'm a big fan. We're big Rider fans. I'm a big AJ fan. We're so proud of the team for winning the Grey Cup and bringing the 5th home for us. We're really proud. We're really happy. Go Riders.
Younger members of Rider Nation also taking in the festivities and say it's an awesome time.
Just coming out here and all the energy around, it's just a great thing. Exactly, and seeing the players, it's just amazing energy to be with.
The ball, what was in the game.
Cheering on our team!
Other fans are reveling in the team's 5th championship in the 112-year history of the Grey Cup.
They're rare, so you got to treat it as if this is the greatest moment of your life, and it is for us at Rider Nation.
Those in the Sea of Green telling CTV News that the Cup feels right at home in the heartland.
I mean, there's something nostalgic and just comforting and homey about just bringing it home. I just feel like the Cup always belongs here.
And for some, a perfect way to spend a Tuesday afternoon.
Highlight of my day. And last night, actually, we saw the Grey Cup at the casino. We were lucky enough to see a few of the players there last night. And I think winning the Cup in Winnipeg was almost as sweet as winning it at home.
Jacob Carr, CTV News, Regina.
Today's parade was also a chance for the players and head coach to address the fans. Here is what Corey Mason Trevor Harris said to the crowd.
When we first came to Saskatchewan, we knew it was going to be crazy, but this is something else. Much love, let's go! Hey, look, so much goes into this. There's so many thank yous to go around for Rider Nation. Much love. And lastly, and most importantly, how about your mother Saskatchewan Rough Riders?
Thank you guys so much for making this moment special. This is your guys' moment as well. We've always had the best fans in the league, and now we've got the best dang team in the league to match you guys, man. We thank you so much. It's been awesome. This is our 5th title, but something we've never done is go back-to-back. So let's go ahead and start talking about that.
Rider quarterback Trevor Harris received a special honor at the Legislative Building today. He was presented with an oil painting of a magical moment when he hoisted the Grey Cup in victory. Wayne Mantica with that story.
Oh, yeah. The gift caught Trevor Harris by surprise.
Oh, my goodness. That is incredible. I got the chills.
The Rider quarterback was presented with an oil painting that captured Sunday night's moment of victory.
Thank you. That is really neat. Thank you so much.
The painting was by Regina artist Belinda Creek, who worked to meet a tight deadline.
You know, I think that's quintessential, one of the best moments that you want to capture as an artist.
The presentation was part of the Riders' visit to the Premier's office at the Legislative Building. They had fun sitting around the cabinet table and trying on the Speaker's hat. The team appreciated how the government rolled out the red carpet.
And having us in this building, you know, it just talked about the volumes of what this meant for this province. You know, I think it goes a long way of saying that, you know, everybody supported us.
Harris expressed gratitude for the gift that he received.
They presented a painting to me upstairs that was absolutely unbelievable, and I'm just kind of just mesmerized by everything that's going on.
The Rider quarterback is making plans on where he will display the painting, but thinks it would look awesome in his basement. Wayne Mantica, CTV News, Regina.
That is cool.
And a quick reminder that nominations are still open for the Saskatoon Citizen of the Year Award, which is presented by CTV. The Citizen of the Year Award is given each year to an individual who exemplifies excellence in our community and is making a difference. To find out how you can nominate that special someone, guides are available here at CTV Saskatoon. You can also head to our website. The deadline to submit your nomination is Friday, December 5th, and we will announce this year's recipient on December 31st. Still to come, the day after the budget vote, where the alliances lie. Also, will the full files on Jeffrey Epstein actually be released? You're watching CTV News live from downtown Saskatoon. Thanks for staying with us. One day after Mark Carney's government narrowly dodged a bullet and a Christmas election, the opposition made it clear not to expect smooth sailing ahead. Michael Couture on what happened in the House today.
I declare the motion carried on division.
Another day, another confidence vote that the Liberals survive.
No, there's going to be one a day for a long time.
Behind the sarcasm is some truth about votes to come. Yesterday's budget vote only passed because a number of opposition MPs abstained.
We hope that opposition parties will continue to dialogue constructively with us about how we can potentially make those things better, but mostly so that we can make Parliament work.
But the Bloc Québécois is promising a rough ride.
So they will live the same anxiety that we have seen this morning, because at each step of this long process, including the committee, they will have to start all over again because they were not good partners for anybody.
Some opposition MPs said they reluctantly voted to pass the budget instead of plunging the country into a Christmas election.
Maybe 6 of one, half a dozen of the other, but the country's got to change direction.
There will be other confidence votes as the budget works its way through the implementation process. And one NDP MP who abstained yesterday says his support isn't guaranteed.
Absolutely confident that I'll be holding this government to account, and we'll be fighting hard for everyday people.
And the Prime Minister says his budget is for those same people who need social programs like childcare, dental care, and pharmacare.
I salute the 170 members of the House who supported it. I'm glad it came through, and we're going to continue to work on implementing it.
The Prime Minister now heads to the UAE and the G20. And because of how close last night's vote was, it's unlikely the Liberals will test the confidence of the House until Mark Carney returns next week. Mike Couture, CTV News, Ottawa.
As Swedish royalty landed in Canada, the dogfight over which fighter jets to add to this country's military fleet kicked into high gear. Executives from Swedish manufacturer Saab are along for the state visit, making a sales pitch for the Gripen, adding to rumors swirling about the Canadian Armed Forces considering a purchase of the Swedish aircraft. CTV's Jean-Vier Beauchemin traveled to Stockholm and took a closer look at the Gripen.
This one, it's a Gripen E.
On a tarmac in Sweden, Saab showed off the fighter jet it hopes Canada will buy.
So it's really state-of-the-art systems acting here.
Part of the company's sales pitch is that the Gripen is perfectly suited to protect the Arctic.
What we designed the system for is actually to be able to withstand the extreme max in terms of cold, so minus 40, minus 45. We should be able to land on a road on a full packed with ice, be able to turn around in 10 minutes.
As the battle of the fighter jets revved up, Saab also suggested Gripens could be assembled on Canadian soil, creating, it says, 10,000 manufacturing and research jobs. But some Canadian contractors say a deal with Saab could also cost jobs. L3 Harrison, Quebec is aiming to set up a maintenance hub for the F-35.
Here we're talking about preserving the jobs of 1,600 Canadians today, the creation of an additional 5,000 jobs for the F-35.
In 2023, Canada agreed to buy 16 stealth fighters built by U.S.-based Lockheed Martin, with an option to scale up to 88. But Ottawa is reviewing the deal in the middle of a trade war. Industry Minister Mélanie Joly said today Gripen's job offer is interesting.
I don't believe that we've had enough jobs created and industrial benefits done out of the F-35.
But Lockheed Martin says about 30 Canadian companies are currently involved in the F-35 supply chain, and that it expects to produce over $15.5 billion in industrial value for Canada, with projects since 2007 and spanning through 2058. Analysts say Canada faces a tough choice.
There's a lot of value to the F-35 contract, as the armed forces have said in the past. It is a fully integrated aircraft. It's the most advanced fighter that we have in the Western world. The question you have to ask yourself, is that aircraft overkill for Canada?
This is how you refuel an aircraft.
Saab hopes an assembled in Canada Gripen will fly.
I mean, there's no secret. Canada has a very skilled workforce.
For Canada, it's a high-stakes decision, and the results will be measured in years to come. Geneviève Beauchemin, CTV News, Stockholm.
The definition of Canadian content in media has changed. The new definition will continue to determine whether something receives the CanCon classification based on the number of Canadians occupying key creative positions in a production. But it will also now include jobs like showrunner, special effects director, and head of costuming. And the CRTC says those roles must be staffed by humans, not AI. Productions can also earn bonus points for cultural elements. CanCon applies to both traditional media and online streaming services. In Washington, the House of Representatives has voted overwhelmingly in favor of a bill to force the Justice Department to release its files on convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein.
And I want every woman to know, every Epstein survivor to know, every woman across the country who is a survivor, who is a victim of assault, that today we see you.
The bill passed 427-1. The only no vote was from Representative Clay Higgins, a Louisiana Republican. Moments after the vote, the Senate Majority Leader said his chamber will act swiftly on the legislation. U.S. President Donald Trump has said he will sign the bill into law after initially urging his supporters to dismiss the matter as a hoax. Epstein was accused of sexually abusing and trafficking underage girls. Emails and other documents from the late financier's estate show his connections to global leaders, Wall Street power brokers, and influential political figures, including Donald Trump. All right, Jeff, feels like a broken record, but, you know, it really has been mild, and it's going to be mild for a bit.
It has. You know, you go outside, oh, it's kind of gray and it's a little cool, but these temperatures are above what they would typically be towards the latter part of November. Typical daytime high in Saskatoon. Oh, I'm getting ahead of myself here. Let's take a look at some numbers. We'll bring those up for you in a second. Currently, it is bing bong, 1 degree in Saskatoon, -1 in Prince Albert, and 0 in the Battlefords, and not particularly windy. We do have some snow coming into the area. We'll talk about that a little later later on. But let's take a look at the almanac for Saskatoon. So 3 degrees, that was our temperature at midnight. It's the official 24-hour high. Mid-afternoon today, we were at 2. There wasn't much variation in our temperatures today, but keep this in mind. A typical daytime high is -3 for this time of year. And so, yes, about 6 degrees above seasonal. Mid-afternoon, 5 degrees above seasonal. 13, though, that was the record temperature back in 1904. The record cold temperature on this date from 1978, that was -28. The sun came up at 8:32, and it went down at 5:11.
Coming up, a labor of love, how one senior is creating world landmarks one stick at a time.
We've got some real page turners for you. This week on Your Morning, we're stepping into the Your Morning library and checking out some exciting titles ahead of the Christmas shopping season.
I believe it's pronounced library. Yeah. Okay, moving on. We've got ourselves, ooh, look at that, an eerie orange glow in the sky. What can it mean? Well, there's some reflection going on. That's what it means, but it looks nice. But we've had ourselves another nice day, certainly by late November standards, and it looks as though the warmer than seasonal conditions are going to continue, and then a big change coming next week. All right, let's take a look at our satellite and radar shot here. So really, here's the moisture we're talking about in terms of the flurries that are on their way. System coming up out of the southern part of Alberta, sliding into Saskatchewan, and so basically Saskatoon and points north, we anticipate some flurry activity, not so much for the southern part of the province, but that's what's coming our way. Let's have a quick recap of our temperatures. 1 degree in Saskatoon, -1 in Prince Albert, 0 in the Battleford, so not much variation there at all. Our hot spot today in the province, Estevan at 8 degrees, Weyburn the cold spot at a very cold -20 degrees. Around the province we go, -1 in Lloydminster, 1 in Swift Current, 2 in Regina and York, 3 in Estevan. Into central parts of our province, temperatures of -3 degrees in a few communities. The warmest it gets is 2, and that is in Watrous. Up north, how cold does it get? Not that cold. -9 in Key Lake, and a few places rather at -7 degrees, but -3 in Buffalo Narrows and South End, 0 in Sandy Bay Island Falls. And down south, generally we're looking at temperatures in and around that 2-degree mark, although Coronach right now sitting at 5. On to our futurecast. Well, as you can see, the computer modeling indicating that system is going to slide through Saskatchewan. Basically, it'll be a full day event moving through and exiting the province just around 6 o'clock. And as you can see, mostly an event that's all about snow. So a little bit of rain maybe in southern areas, but other than that, it's a snow event. It's cloudy skies for La Ronge and Stony Rapids, mainly cloudy in Key Lake and mainly sunny in Buffalo Narrows. Temperatures of 0 in La Ronge and Buffalo Narrows, -4 for Stony Rapids and Key Lake. Into west central Saskatchewan, temperatures hovering around the 0-degree mark. A chance for some flurries in Spiritwood, tapering off in the afternoon. Otherwise, mainly cloudy. Mainly cloudy skies from Maple Creek, Leader, and Outlook Swift Current. A chance of flurries, and again, tapering off in the afternoon. Temperatures hanging around 3 degrees. Slightly warmer in parts of southeastern Saskatchewan. And I'm looking at you, Estevan, a high of 5. Yorkton, some flurries moving through as that system does tomorrow. Similar situation for Watrous, a high of 1. Expecting 1 in cloudy skies in Melfort and Humboldt, just 2 with cloudy skies in Hudson Bay. For the Battlefords, dropping down to -3 tonight. Some fog patches showing up, 2 to 4 centimeters of snow when all is said and done. Mainly cloudy skies on Wednesday, a high of 1, -1 on Thursday, warming up to 4 on Saturday, 2 on Sunday, and then the downward trend starts. Now 0 degrees on Monday, still above seasonal, but that's not true of Tuesday. -6 is not seasonal at all. It's colder than seasonal. -4 for Prince Albert with flurries overnight, and then tapering off tomorrow. -1 on Thursday and Friday, +3 on Saturday, Sunday +2, -1 to start the work week, -5 on Tuesday, and both days there's a chance of flurries. And finally, Saskatoon, it's a full meal deal. We're expecting some flurries, but there's a risk of freezing drizzle, some fog patches showing up, -2 degrees the overnight temperature. Tomorrow the winds shift around a little bit, a high of 2 with mainly cloudy skies. And then on Thursday, mainly cloudy and 1, ditto that for Friday, 4 on Saturday, Sunday 3, so get those Christmas decorations up if you want to be outside. 2 degrees on Monday, -3 on Tuesday, and a chance of flurries on Monday and Tuesday.
Biggest artist of our time. Bigger is always better. You know what I mean?
Post Malone will hit the stage during the NFL's Thanksgiving Day halftime show when Dallas meets Kansas City. Dallas hosts, of course, they always do. Jack White is set to headline the show in Detroit, the earlier game where the Lions are taking on Green Bay. And for the nightcap, Lil Jon will appear at the Baltimore Ravens-Cincinnati Bengals game. Malone announced his performance on social media with a statement that said, "I'm from Texas. I grew up a Cowboys fan and have been watching this halftime show for years." Woo-wee. Fans of Cher, and who isn't, may want to circle December 20th on their calendar. The legendary singer will appear that evening on Saturday Night Live. It will be her first time performing as a musical guest on an episode of the comedy sketch show in nearly 40 years. Cher has made cameos on SNL over the years, but the last time was in 2011. She performed on SNL's special, marking its 50th year last February.
See me roll on my Segway. I know in my heart they think I'm wide and nerdy. I'm just too wide and nerdy.
Weird Al Yankovic is taking his musical parodies on the road. He's venturing out on his bigger and weirder 2026 tour after visiting 67 cities in 2025. His 2 Canadian stops will include Edmonton, Winnipeg, Kelowna, and Ottawa. Come on! What about Saskatoon? Come on! Doesn't look like Saskatoon's on the list yet.
Well, you can start a petition, no?
Well, we'll see. You know, and the last time he was here and he performed, he was terrific, but he didn't do any of the parodies. He did some other comedy songs.
Yeah, well, there's always hoping, right?
There's always hope, yeah.
All right, and always pick of the day. What do you have?
We have some lovely shots here. We're going to start off with this one. We had received so many Northern Lights images from last week, but I absolutely wanted to get this one out there. This is from Joan. Beautiful St. Scholastica at Burr. Now, Burr is a tiny place. I think it's basically this church and a hall, and that's south of Humboldt. And that is an absolutely gorgeous shot. That's a picture postcard. So thank you, Joan. Next one comes for us from Dwayne. Well, a happy family that survived hunting season. Hunting season ended November 14th. This picture was taken on Saturday, November 15th. So a lovely shot there. Thank you for that, Dwayne. And finally, from Roberta, Saginaw Lake freeze up is crystal clear, and boy is it ever. And I assume that's Roberta out there on the ice, but I can't be certain. But a lovely shot there from one of the lakes here in our province. So thank you, Roberta, for sharing that image. And if you'd like to share an image with us, you can do so by sending it to cfqcnews@ctv.ca. You can also scan the QR code on the screen, and please put pick of the day in the subject line.
Still to come on CTV News, building an empire of world landmarks, how one Alberta man is creating keepsakes one piece at a time. From the Tower Bridge in England to the Taj Mahal in India, an Alberta senior is bringing international landmarks to life in his basement. CTV's Nareem Issa reports his next project is one closer to home.
Esmond Warren prepares a piece of wood before heading to his workbench.
Here again, you see, you build this one piece flat.
What started off as a project to keep him busy has turned into a passion.
Our daughter brought me the first kit as a Christmas present. I thought, good grief. Yeah, I was not too impressed with it at the start, but once I got into it, I really enjoyed it.
Warren recreates landmarks using small matchstick-sized wood pieces. His projects include the Tower Bridge in London, India's Taj Mahal, and the Notre Dame Cathedral of Paris. A special project in honor of his granddaughter, who died of complications of cystic fibrosis.
When she passed away, she left me with the instructions that I should finish it for her. So I was very proud to be able to do that.
Not all are famous landmarks.
This was the dairy barn, and there's the silo over there.
This is a replica of their family farm in New Sarepta, with one important detail.
Our son came here one day and saw it and said, well, where's Mum? Because Mum always cut the grass. So then I had to go and make a little tractor and put her on it.
Esmond's next project is the Alberta Legislature.
That one isn't made with matchsticks. I cut the wood for that one, and I'm building that one from scratch. No blueprints.
The 87-year-old says each project takes 200-plus hours to finish.
She kind of rolls her eyes when I go down to the man cave. And I say, well, it won't be long. And of course, she says I'm twice as long as I said I was going to be.
This hobby may be time-consuming. However,
I wouldn't be doing it if I wasn't enjoying it.
A labor of love, one landmark at a time. Nair Misa, CTV News, Edmonton.
When we come back, a Saskatchewan leader takes on a new role. And later, the Saskatchewan photographers capturing the beauty of our province.
All right, we've got ourselves above seasonal temperatures tomorrow. A possibility of some flurries in some locations. That includes Spirit Wood and Watchers. But as we said earlier on, it's not going to last all that long. It's going to move through and not really add up to a lot in the way of accumulation. 1 degree for Lloydminster, 1 as well. And Kindersley, 2 for Outlook. You can see Melfort, 1 degree. Ditto that for Watchers. Wynyard, 1 degree with some snow flurries. And then 2 degrees in Hudson Bay for a high, making our way down south. Well, only Kenora on this part of our map is anticipating a lot in the way, or I shouldn't say a lot, indicating anything in the way of precipitation. Temperatures ranging from 4 degrees in a number of communities down to just 1 in Rosetown. But as I've been saying ad nauseum, shall we say, that is pretty much what we've been dealing with, these above seasonal temperatures. And that certainly includes Cut Knife tomorrow. Now, Cut Knife possibly getting some of those flurries. They will get some of those flurries in a high of 0 degrees and winds out of the west at 15. And just a reminder that Light Up Cut Knife is coming up on November 30th. And members of Town Council are going to be hosting a little party, a get-together with free hot dogs, coffee, and hot chocolate. And everyone is welcome to attend, and you can help kick off the holiday season. That's 4:30, Sunday, November 30th. And bring a lawn chair and enjoy the fire. And Cut Knife is one of those places where you can enjoy internet plans of up to 1 gig, which are available from SaskTel.
Greetings, everyone. Over the years, Cadmus Delorme has worn many hats: chief, entrepreneur, and now chancellor of his alma mater. With the new position, he plans to continue pushing the importance of education and championing reconciliation. We caught up with him at the University of Regina's 2025 Fall Convocation, where he performed his ceremonial duties for the first time.
An historic moment for the University of Regina. Former chief of Cowessess First Nation and local businessman Cadmus Delorme being instilled as the chancellor of the university. He's the first Indigenous person to hold the role. Delorme reflects on the treaty signings, the talks of education for future generations, making this moment possible.
This is what our ancestors wanted us to do. They wanted us to succeed and be Indigenous on our land, and also succeed in the Canadian perspective as well. Learn to walk in both worlds. You don't have to compete. They coexist. And I'm a prime example of what reconciliation is.
There have been 9 other chancellors in the U of R's history. The chancellor is responsible for the academic welfare of the institution, is a member of the Board of Governors, as well as a representative of the university. Leadership are excited to have Delorme on board and the impact he will have in the university and beyond.
His leadership will be transformational as chancellor, and he's going to have an impact on the entire community, faculty, staff, and I'll say students as well in a great way. It's a really exciting time, and I would say it's a new beginning in terms of what he will bring to that office.
Delorme has been a part of the U of R in some capacity for many years, first becoming a student in 2008, earning 2 degrees, and eventually holding the chair of the Board of Governors for the university.
He's a role model for younger youth and you know, for things to aspire to, especially for Indigenous peoples in this province. It's a testament to where we are, you know, not only as a province, but where we're moving towards, and I think that's something positive.
The University of Regina recently celebrated its 50th anniversary. Delorme is looking forward to serving the place that taught him so much about himself and plans to do so for years to come.
I wear this with pride for all the alumni of the First Nations University of Canada and the Saskatchewan Indian Federated College and the elders that prayed for that institution. And to be a part of the University of Regina and the bigger family, I'm here for all the 95,000 alumni.
If you have a story you would like to see in this segment, here's how to reach us. You can contact me by email, and you can also watch past episodes and segments of Indigenous Circle on our CTV Regina and CTV Saskatoon websites.
Indigenous Circle, brought to you in part by Saskatchewan Indigenous Enterprise Foundation, growing the First Nation entrepreneurial spirit.
A recent survey found 1 in 3 Saskatchewan residents plan to save for travel and vacations this fall. The survey, sponsored by Connexus Credit Union, asked residents to share their personal top 5 savings priorities this season. 29% of respondents say they're not saving or planning for any big purchases this fall. That number was higher for those 55 and older. Nearly 1/4 put home improvements or renovations on their top 5 list. 13% of females plan to save for events, holidays, and gifts, while males are at 6%. One savings priority that was consistent among all age groups and genders, 15% mentioned debt, bills, and financial security. A big North American retailer reported earnings today and missed the mark. And as Marilla Fernandez tells us, that's triggering concerns about the upcoming holiday shopping season.
Home Depot not only missed the mark, but also cut its profit outlook for 2025. The home improvement retailer says it expected a sales boost from lower interest rates, but that didn't happen. It also lost out on storm revenue. There have been fewer big weather events that typically push up demand for roofing materials, generators, and other supplies. Here are the closing numbers for the day. The Canadian dollar is up to 71.53. West Texas Intermediate crude is up to 60.67. Western Canadian Select is down over $1 to 47.33. And the TSX is down 39 points today to 30,036. Those are your business headlines. I'm Marilla Fernandez.
Coming up, Game On, a look back on 50 years of gaming history. Then picture-perfect moments preserving Saskatchewan's beauty.
Select Hair Services brought to you by Sage, the Beauty Bar.
Stay with us. We've got another full night of great shows for you right here tonight on CTV. The museum in Croatia is allowing gamers to enjoy some of the devices that have shaped the industry. Around 3,000 artifacts and playable games spanning 50 years of gaming history are on display. The founder of the Video Game History Museum even has a Canadian connection, living and working here as a programmer and project manager for gaming companies. He founded his own studio in Canada, so there's some recognition for our country at the museum. It's the first of its kind in Croatia and one of a few dedicated video gaming museums anywhere in Europe.
That is cool.
Yeah.
Got some classic games right there.
Yeah. Interactive. All right. Well, a handful of Saskatchewan residents have been recognized for capturing the beauty of our province. Tourism Saskatchewan chose this photo of 2 children on a dock at Birds Point, taken by Lindsay McLeod of Regina as the grand prize winner of its 2025 Explore Sask photo contest in the People and Places category. North Battleford's Gilbert Katarinich won in the Prairie category for his image capturing a summer storm in Saskatchewan. Prince Albert's Lillian Donahue took this photo of some shorebirds on a reflective Reed Lake, winning in the wildlife category. Craig Boehm of Regina took this winter wonderland in the Queen City to win the winter category. Brody Solid of Saskatoon took this stunning image at Outlook to take the woods and water category. And Saskatoon's Shannon Chu took home top honors in the video category for her video titled Saskatoon on a Saturday, featuring some comings and goings in and around the downtown area. Tourism Saskatchewan launched this year's photo contest in July, receiving 3,785 entries, with 6, of course, chosen as winners to showcase the province's natural beauty. So
2 shots of the movable pub, the pedal
pub. It's all part of, things in Saskatoon in the summer.
All righty.
So that's a lot of entries, but
yes,
to the winners.
Yes, and hats off to the judges going through almost 4,000 entries.
Yeah.
That's a lot of pictures.
That would be a lot. I mean, you get a lot.
I do. And it's tough to choose sometimes. We'll take a quick look at the, we can't choose the weather, but here's what we're expecting for tomorrow. Minus 2 degrees with cloudy conditions at 9 a.m. At noon, -1. Mid-afternoon around 2 degrees, but 1 by about 5.
And it's going to stay mild for a bit.
Right up until Tuesday, and then bam. Not bam, but it's like this downward trend.
So we get like a transition day somewhere in there?
Nah, it's one big transition week.
Great. Okay, thanks for watching.
Hey, it's spread over a few days.